cough I can't shake. All right, welcome back to the Frankenstank show. This is the third episode. My man Mark did the first couple with me. We have a somewhat familiar face. He's been around on a couple episodes, but mostly you'll know him as Wyatt Loves Music. This is Wyatt from the Frankenstank, a longtime participant in the Frank, and definitely my kind of guest when it comes to this sort of stuff. We want people that have had boots on the ground playing in this league and that have opinions on monster cards and just fantasy football, have that fantasy football knowledge in general. So Wyatt, we really appreciate you coming on. And I'm really glad that you got the memo on the uniform for today. So that's
well, I appreciate the kind words, Justin. I did get the email this morning that there would be plaid required. So not only the shirt, but I went with the hat to round everything out, even though it's kind of a clash, but Christmas, a little regular. 'Tis the season to wear plaid, right? According to LL Bean, at least. I don't know.
Yeah,
thanks for having me.
Definitely need a Bigfoot hat like that. I have a Bigfoot shirt that I used to wear a lot when I was a teacher and when I was teaching the elementary kids. It said always believe in yourself even when nobody else does. It's Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Nobody necessarily believes in them, but they're wrong. I
can get you one. My buddy makes these, so I can get you one. He designs them, I should say, but.
Sweet. But the hat that I'm wearing today, our show today is brought to you by Your New Home Connection. It is a real estate group with my buddy Herb Rice. He helped us buy a piece of land down in Morgantown, Indiana recently. If you're anywhere in or around the central Indiana region, he can help you out with that. I'm sure he's got connections in other locations as well. So if you need a realtor for any reason, or even just have questions about real estate related stuff, that's kind of how it started with us with Herb, and we'll never go anywhere else now. So thank you, Herb Rice, for your hard work. But Wyatt, we're talking monster cards today. We have all brand new monster cards today. Mark, in the last two episodes, had to sit through like 4 of the old cards as well, and only got 2 new cards. And here you get to pop up and you get to go over 3 new cards right out the gate. All brand new monster cards. These are all going to fall under the transactions category. If you guys remember from the previous episodes, up at the top, it says transactions. This first section of the first 12 cards are all transactions related monster cards. We had the Jelly Blob, we had Hannibal Lecter, and we had basically what most people would know as the Puppet Master. Then we went with the Graboids card, Krampus, and the Living Dead, basically any zombie movie or show. Tonight's episode, we're going to be talking about the 3 brand new ones, the Vince McMahon from WWE, WWF, that professional wrestling.
Wrestling fame, yeah.
Exactly. And he's always known as being the heel. He was also the commissioner and all that sort of stuff. We're also going to be going over a new Squid Games card. I'm going to try to pronounce this, Hwang In-Ho. But basically, did you watch Squid Games?
No.
Oh, wow.
I know.
It's pretty wild. But I'm kind of, I'm kind of wild. I love all of the horror related stuff, but then I also really like game shows. So that one specifically caught my attention. It was a very entertaining series. I even watch all of these little sub series that came of it. So
I've heard a lot of good things about it. The one thing that's like kept me away from it is I can't stand watching shows that are dubbed in English while the native speakers are speaking their language. And I don't mind captions. As a matter of fact, I'm one of those weirdos that always has them on. But I just like for action and captions, it's kind of strange, versus like drama or thriller or whatnot. But everybody keeps telling me I need to watch Squid Game, so now I hear it from the man. I gotta watch it.
I'm the same way. Like, it can have all the best reviews everywhere, and I'm not going to give it a shot. But with Squid Games, I kind of stumbled upon it, and it was kind of an accident. And I got hooked real early in the first episode, and I was like, I've got to push myself through it. And after that, like, it didn't even matter. I didn't care. It was very quickly, like, I was able to look back, and it's helped me now to be able to watch other movies where they dub in the English speaking voices. But But anyway, the third and final card we'll be going over today, since these are monster-related cards, is the Donald Trump card. And yes, I understand. I know what some people are going to say. This has nothing to do with politics. This isn't about politics, if he ever actually had any. This is about the person himself, and he's a monster. Like, even if you're a supporter of his, you got to know he's a monster. Anyway, that's out of the way. We're not going to be talking politics on this show. This is just the Monster Card Show. So it is what it is. All right. So Vince McMahon, the Vince McMahon card. Were you at all a professional wrestling fan at any point in your life?
A little bit when I was younger. Not, I didn't get really deeply into it like a lot of folks did. But I certainly know who Mr. McMahon is. I'm familiar with the term kayfabe and some of the more bigger names in wrestling from the 80s and 90s.
Yep. Yeah. That's back when I watched as well. And but my home league was wrestling themed this year, and since I am the commissioner of that league, my team name was based off of Vince McMahon, and I forget exactly what I had it named initially. But then I ended up getting Christian McCaffrey late in the first round, and people were poo-pooing the pick, saying that he was going to get hurt again. I knew he was going to be a beast, so I made my team name Vince McMaffrey, I think is what it is. Like that. So yeah, that's fun. That's good times. But I'm doing pretty well in that league. Second highest points for, but I have a below 500 record because of all the points against. Just one of those unlucky seasons. But I think I'm still going to get in on points. We give two playoff spots to points getters. So
yep.
So I think I should be good on that. But anyway, nobody likes to hear about other people.
Nobody cares about our fantasy teams, Justin. Nobody cares about our fantasy teams.
So the Vince McMahon card, here's the description. Vince has basically been a heel in the professional wrestling world most of his career, but in and out of the ring, or both in and out of the ring. When he took over the operations from his father, he decided that he was going to try to snub all the other competition by buying out all these smaller but growing organizations, these other professional wrestling businesses. He totally looked at this as a business opportunity. He wanted to own their audience. So he also would buy out the organizations for as cheap as possible. So with this card, you literally get to buy out any player from another team's roster in your division. But here are the parameters. It must be a player that they had gotten off of waivers. So this is like they're getting this new audience. If you look at it from the business wrestling standpoint, this is a player that they got off of the waiver wire. They do get to have the player on their roster for at least 1 week. So even if, like, let's say you have the card, Wyatt, and I pick up a player off of waiver, I pick up Tyjae Spears after week 3, and then come week 10, Pollard goes down, and I still have Tyjae Spears as long as it's a player that I picked up off of waivers at some point, and that's how I have him on my roster. You can do this. You can acquire this player from me. Now you must post your card usage in the MFL playable card thread. Let's see. Okay, you do get to keep this player. So whenever you play the card, you'll steal the player from me, and in return, you're purchasing that player at 25% of the amount of money that I paid in Fab to get the player. We're gonna round up. We're gonna round up to the next whole number if it's a decimal. So if I paid, $101, 25% of that would be $25.25 dollars. So we would just round that up to $26. So there's not going to be decimals. We're going to round it up. So for 1/4 of whatever I paid originally in Fab to get the player, you can play your card and purchase that player off of me, even if we don't play against each other. As long as we're in the same division, you can purchase any player in the division from any other team that was picked up off of waivers, but they get to keep him for at least 1 week. So if I pick him up off of waivers, you at least have to give me a week with that player. I don't have, whether I start him or not is up to me, but after that week is done, if you want to steal him, you're welcome to steal him. And I think that's basically the gist of it. You do have to, you can use this card twice in the regular season, which is also huge because you're essentially stealing two. I don't know if I put it in here, but I am going to make sure that you can't steal both players from the same team. That's going to be one of the rules. I'll add that in there so you're not screwing the same team twice. And then also, the first time you play the card, you have to have the roster space. So you'll have to cut somebody most likely. But the second time, it'll be the last time you can use the card. So we'll just drop the card to make the roster space for that second time that you use it. So do you have any questions about that? Comments?
So,
yeah.
No, that sounds great. So that's like oh, I missed on this player on waivers. I really wanted to get him. Maybe you didn't get your fab bid in or whatever the case. The team that does get that player gets to play that player for a week within the division, and then you can come in and say, hey, I'm going to take Tajay Spears from you. So the question I would have is, let's say you've had him for 1 week, and I say, hey, Justin, I posted an MFL. Yeah, I'm going to come in and take Tajay Spears from you here for this week. Do the points count for that week, or am I playing him for the next? Am I stealing him from you for the next week?
No, you're stealing him from that point on.
Okay. So I put it in before Thursday's game, and then I get to play him that week, and then I've got him as long as
he's on your roster
or whatever.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I pick him up off of waivers in week 3 and I use him in week 3, I get those points in week 3. But then you steal him before week 4, then he's yours from that point on. Yep. Just like the blob as far as that goes.
And it's one of those cards where you do have to play pre-Thursday night, where not all cards are like that, right?
Correct. Yep. Some are played on Tuesday, affecting the prior week. This one it needs to be played before Thursday, affecting the up and coming week. And then there's other cards that the time frame doesn't necessarily really matter, especially now with some of these new cards. But yep, that's a good question for sure.
Okay. And then we have
any strategy thoughts on this one?
I think this is kind of like a nice card for a kind of like a FOMO card in a way. Like, oh, I missed, like I said before, like, oh, I missed on that guy. Maybe you got outbid or something, where it's like a backup to, oh, I really wanted this player, but I didn't get him. So now I can still ensure I can get this player. So if you're not as, if you're not as sharp on the wire, or, if you're not as, if you're not great with fab, those types of things, maybe this card's for you, because you can just say, hey, I'm not gonna mess with even trying to get X player in week 3. Let's use Tajay Spears as the example. I really want Tajay Spears. I'll let someone else bid for him, and then I'll come scoop him up. So, and it wouldn't even have to be the next week. You could be like, oh, let's see how he does. Let's see if the MCLs hold up,
Right.
Let's see if the team gets him going, or whatever. So you could hold on to it that way. But it might be nice for players who don't love fab bidding, and or if you miss out on a player or something like that. But you could also use it to hurt an opponent. Someone else is really cranking in your league, and they've got a hot waiver pull, like a Michael Wilson for the last couple weeks. You see you're going up against him. Oh, I'm going to take him away from you, so that you can't play him against me this week while I'm fighting for the playoffs. Something like that could be a good offensive and defensive card.
Or even if it's not a good player, but that team that you're going up against has 2 quarterbacks that are on bye, and the other quarterback they picked up off of waivers 2 weeks prior to playing ahead. You're taking that quarterback. Now they're starting a backup quarterback, because everybody knows in Frank, starting quarterbacks are hard to come by. So so there's always that. And the other aspect I thought of was, let's say it's a player where you really want them and you kind of want to bid, but you don't really know what that bid amount should be, because we've all been there. We're like, should I bid $80 or should I bid $110? But with this card, you have this card, you can go ahead and play that low ball amount, and then if you get the player, then great. But if you don't, if you missed out, now you're going to get it for a real low balled amount. So
that's what I was trying to articulate. And I'm the player who I will spend all my fab early, and I'll spend too much. You've played in leagues with me, so I tend to overspend relative to the league. and then be out of fab. So this would work well too for someone who's out of fab. But hey, there's a question. Question just arose.
Yeah.
So if you're out of fab and you have the card, you can't use it, can you? Because you have to pay for that player, right?
Correct.
Is that
Correct.
true?
So you will have to make sure you have that correct amount of money in there to be able to get them. Yep.
Okay. There's a little wrinkle.
Yeah.
Just
So
thought, just thought of.
even if you want to do that and play that game where you spend all your fab early, you know, as long as you, because in Frank, I think we started with $1,000, maybe 2,000. I forget what it
I
was,
think
maybe
so.
2,000
Yeah.
because it goes up so high, so fast, because it's an escalating minimum each week. But anyway, so if you keep a 200-300 just in case, so that you can use this card twice later in the season, you could still do that. You're just going to be tempted each week until you
Oh
finally
yeah.
use it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Now, and you did say that you can use the card twice, right?
Yes, you can use it
Okay.
twice, just not against the same team both times.
Right. Right.
And then if you look at the chart again, for any of you that sign up for the Frankenstank League, you will be given this this Google sheet, this chart here. Wyatt, you get the privilege of getting it sooner, which is a little bit of an advantage here since you were willing to come on with me today. So, but if you look off to the right, just like we talked about in the other shows, this will tell you in comparison to each of the other monster cards what is more powerful than what, or what can be played with or not with other cards. So like in this case, if you had, this says if you own both cards, so if you had the Jelly Blob and you had the Vince McMahon, you just can't use both cards in the same week affecting the same team. That's basically all that means. And then NA means there's no effect here on either way. You can use Hannibal Lecter and Vince McMahon can both be used in the same week. If you have them both, or if you're against the other team that has the other card, it doesn't really matter. Basically, first come, first serve, though, in most cases, unless, commissioner deems otherwise, or the card states otherwise. It's kind of like if there are 5 cards played in the same matchup, we're going to start at the top with the first one that was played and honor them as we go.
Okay. In the MFL chat. So the sooner you get it in, that kind of thing. Okay.
Yes, but not all of them are played in the MFL chat. Some of them are
right
in secret to the commissioner. And in that case, we have the text message in the time, or the DM or whatever in the time, to show what time it was sent. So we'll still know what order to put what in.
I'll go on the record right now here too for you, Justin, if you like. Yeah. I'm willing to throw my assistance into help with commissioning. If you'd just throwing it out there. Didn't mean to interrupt.
Absolutely, I will.
If you'd like some
I've
help.
got you on the list. It obviously depends on how many divisions we get, but you probably have no idea what you just volunteered for. But
oh, I do. I have an idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know what I'm signed up for here because we're all starting off with 3 monster cards this year. So
there's 150 total now, and how many were there?
120 total. 120 total. Okay, because there's 10 different categories and 12 cards in each category. So, yeah. All right, Squid Games. In Squid Games, every time someone got eliminated, the jackpot for the winner increased. So with this card, every time you lose a player due to your opponent stealing in a forced trade, whether that be vampire or monster card, you will be granted $100 in fab. If it's via the standard vampire steal, then the commissioner will just add $100 to you. The person that's stealing from you and the vampire does not pay that $100. The commissioner will just give you another $100 in your fab account every time that you have a player stolen via vampire steal. Now, if it's due because of a monster card, then the player that is playing the monster card against you, or the player that plays the monster card that causes you to lose a player, will owe you $100 fab. So that means that if I wanted to use my blob against you, Wyatt, to steal your player, I would have to pay you $100 fab for it. So if they don't have the $100 to pay the fee, then the trade can't happen and they can't play the monster card. And if it's a result of the Squid Games card holder player, a different card, or playing a different card. I did not proofread these. The Squid Games card player, or playing If it's due to a Squid Games card holder playing a different card that they had, then they will not be granted the $100 fab. So in other words, if I played my blob to steal your player, then you play a different card to block that ability, then I don't owe you the $100 because I didn't get the player. This is a season-long card that you get to use as long as you hold on to it on your roster. And you may need to remind your commissioner to add the fab. There's going to be several of these where it says, hey, you might need to remind your commissioner. Like that's like an every week thing. Every time you lose a player to a vampire steal, just shoot a DM to your commissioner. Hey, don't forget I get $100 fab because I had a player stolen. Because we're going to have so much to have to keep up with that it's going to need to be a little bit more team manager reliant moving forward. So
solid communication between teams and commissioners and keeping those communication lines very open.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ins and outs here.
Absolutely.
I know that from playing.
And you'll notice to the right of this one of the Squid Games card that it starts right off the bat. A few of these that cause transactional issues, there is a little reminder there. So like it says, if the Puppet Master forces the trade involving Squid Games card holder, then they must pay the $100 fab to complete the trade. So it's just like a quick little reminder here. So most of them will have that. And again, all of the, I did proofread that. There we go. All of the commissioners will also have this, and I'm going to ask all of them to go through and kind of proofread everything too and see if there's anything I missed. And at that point, you guys will have a lot more questions for me as far as, hey, you put NA on this block. Are you sure that this doesn't affect that? And it'll be, we'll be able to square it away a lot more and get it neater by kickoff of week 1. But all right, so any questions or comments about strategy for Squid Games?
Yeah, so this one seems kind of like almost like an insurance policy card. And tell me if I'm wrong, and it's one of those cards where you don't have to put it into the chat. You hold that card, you have it for the season. Anytime someone steals a player, you get $100 in fab, unless of the contingencies with the other monster cards there.
Right.
So it's almost like just an insurance policy. Is that kind of like to give you fab if you lose a player?
Yeah, basically. So
or get a player stolen.
So that also means that anybody that's using that card to force you to lose a player has to now consider, is this a player that I would be willing to spend $100 fab for? So it can be a deterrent to help keep them from attacking your team. Or maybe they have, maybe they can come after, I don't know. See, we have, maybe there's 2 players that they really like. They really like CD Lamb. They really like, I don't know, who's another wide receiver that's been tearing
Drake
it up.
London.
Drake.
No, we won't use him as an example.
Yeah, we'll say Drake London. And let's say that next year, Frank Six, Drake London, and CD Lamb are both top tier, blowing it up, doing a great job. And you want to steal one of them. Well, I have CD Lamb, but I have this card. And Mark has Drake London, and he doesn't have this card. So maybe they go steal Drake London, because if it's close, super close, and they don't want to spend the $100 fab, maybe that can be a tiebreaker too. Like it can be a protective, like you said, like an insurance card too.
Yeah, I could see how this could work in conjunction with the Vince McMahon card, because if you spend too much fab, you can get some back maybe with a little insurance policy here. So I'm already seeing some little combinations there that could work, even just between 2 cards.
I said, we play them in order. So if you play your Vince McMahon card to steal Drake London from me for $50 because I paid $200 for him, then I'm going to be like, okay, great, there you go. But now you also owe me $100 because I'm playing my card. So now you actually had to pay $150. Yeah.
And vice versa, would that? No, because you can only use one. Would that work also? Like if you played your Vince McMahon card and I said, Justin, I want to take Drake London from you for 20, and Drake London's not a good idea because he would have been drafted. Because that's a waiver player. So.
Well, regardless, it has to be somebody that they picked up off of waivers. So if they steal from you because of the Squid Game card, then that's how they have possession of that player. They didn't pick them up off the waivers.
Right.
So
Yeah, I just thought of that. I was like, nobody's picking London off of waivers.
so it wouldn't
Unless
be vice
you
versa. But,
okay.
yeah.
No, that one makes sense. It seems like a good insurance policy, and one of those cards you just get to hold on to and makes your opponent think too. Like, gosh, do I really want to spend this cash on this guy? Do I want to mess with it? Yeah.
Yep.
One of those.
So the next card is a very simple card. How ironic.
One of those ones to deter stuff.
It's Donald Trump from the TV show The Apprentice. This greedy mongrel is proof that money can buy you everything if you have no soul. So if you have this card, then your fab money each week will just automatically collect interest each and every week. But it starts after week 2 of the season is completed. And at that point, from that point on, after week 2 of the season is completed, your commissioner will just automatically adjust your fab budget, adding 10% to your current fab budget, to your fab account budget after the waivers have ran. So after week 2, if you haven't spent any of your fab money yet, I think it was 2,000 we started with. That's what I said earlier. We'll just roll with that for now. We'll go over that more in like a rules video later. But let's say it's 2,000. You haven't spent a single dime of your money. Well, 10% of 2,000 is 200. So after waivers run after week 2, we'll add $200 to your fab account, and you'll be up to 2,200. So once the fab drops below 100 in your bank, then the bank will no longer give you the interest for the rest of the season. So once you've spent your fab to the point where you have less than $100 in there, you can't gain interest for it anymore. Just like real banks, the more poor you are, the less money you can make. But you do not have to play this card. It just automatically gets added. But again, just like earlier, you might want to remind your commissioner each week. So after waivers run on Wednesday, you go to look at it. Thursday, Friday, we still haven't added the fab. Just shoot us a quick DM. Say, hey, don't forget my fab money from the Donald Trump card, and we'll add that percentage to your card. So what do you think of this one?
Pretty straightforward. It seems like you're just making interest on fab, right? So you're just holding on to the card and making interest, and unless you go below 100, then you don't make interest, and that makes sense because if you don't have money, you don't make any money.
Yeah, exactly.
Like real life.
Just like the real.
Late stage capitalism. Yeah. So that one seems pretty straightforward, and it doesn't look like that one has any other conflicting cause.
Well, I haven't gone.
So it would just be one.
Yeah, I haven't gone through all of them yet. I don't think that one will.
Okay.
I can't confirm that just yet. I've only actually gone all the way through the first 3 cards, and then most of the way through the 4th card. I'm almost done going through the Trimmer's Graboid. But yeah, I didn't figure I had to complete the chart, just for these quick episodes. But it'll be completed before all the episodes are done. So yeah. But yeah, basically that's it. So the next episode, I'm not sure who I'll have on with me, but we are going to be going over David Powers from the Lost Boys, Sweeney Todd, and Hans Gruber from Die Hard.
Nice, good.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that one too.
Is Hans Gruber the last of the transaction cards?
That is correct. He's the last of the transaction cards. After that, we will be rolling into the defensive cards, where we'll be discussing one of my personal favorites from Frank's past, Slimer Ghostbuster, along with several others. And the defensive cards, they have the most of from the previous seasons coming back. They had 5. We had 5. I did change the name of the Silver Bullet to Wolfman, but these other monster cards on here for defensive cards were already cards. So that means that there's only that makes 7 new cards on that one for the defensive cards. But yeah, after that we've got transaction cards, we've got point swap cards, we got points for cards and points against cards, and so we have 10 different categories altogether. But Yeah, this will be fun stuff.
Great, man. Yeah, it's great. I'm really happy that you've put this back together, and really looking forward to playing in 26.
Yeah.
I've missed Frank this season. I need to be in another league with just variants everywhere,
Well,
creating complete
we had
chaos.
we had season 1 in 2022, season
Okay.
2 in 2023, season 3 in 2024. You see what I'm saying? So like we were always
Yeah.
off the year. By taking the year off, now it'll be season 6 in
In
2026.
2020.
Yeah. So it'll be easier for me to keep track of everything in my head.
So there's
But
also strategy to the game itself, not even inside the game, but like how you roll the game out, man.
right, it
This is
had
big.
absolutely nothing to do with my hectic life going crazy all at once and then the previous show Toilets and Titles falling apart all at the same time. So instead, it was because Frank needed a rest so that he could revamp and come back even bigger and stronger. So
Excellent, man. I'm glad you're doing it. I'm glad you're doing better. It's good to see you, and I appreciate you having me on to share a few of these cards with me.
yep, you too, my friend. And guys, I apologize for the way the video is. I don't have my green screen up. We got construction guys that are doing all kinds of work around here. So hopefully I'll get all that situated and sorted out eventually. But yeah, we appreciate it. Wyatt, my friend, thank you very much for coming on, and good luck. I know this week is going to be a rough week for you in the league that I'm in with you. It's not looking good. I looked ahead. You've got a really tough matchup, and the guy you're tied with for the playoff spot has a really easy matchup, and his team's coming on as yours is falling apart. But it's like you
Just
said earlier,
fine.
you usually play for the beginning of the season. By spending all that fab early, you usually come off with an early good start. So yeah, you're the
I mean,
opposite of Burrow.
it's not my fault that players get injured. Like I
Yeah,
can't help that.
yeah,
I guess
that's
I could have done a little bit better with depth, but I mean, if I had my pieces in place, I think it would be okay.
yeah.
I was hoping I could coast through this week 14, but you know what? Nobody cares about my fantasy team, so we'll stop talking about it. But I'm gonna keep fighting, man. I'm glad you locked down one of the number one seeds there in a round one bye against me last week.
Yeah, yeah. And it was only 10 points. Like
No.
I know I said I'd like to see it come down to that last drive, but it really legitimately had
It
made
did.
a touchdown to which running back did you start?
Henderson.
Is Henderson? Yeah, so had May thrown a touchdown to Henderson on that last drive, it could have been all of the difference.
If
So
if Henderson would have broke one, if
yeah.
May would have hit Henry on that seam route,
Oh man,
any of those.
that was that
If the Giants had used Tyrone Tracy at all in the first half before he got injured, I mean, yeah,
yeah.
it was
But
brutal. But what are you gonna do?
that Hunter that scoring that touchdown and then getting it called back, man, that I
There's
felt
so many
frustrated,
opportunities.
man. Like, uh, I mean, it happens. It's football, I guess, but this just sucks.
The
But
game we play, man.
all right, well, we're
Uh,
about 3.5 over, so we're gonna get out of here. But we appreciate you guys tuning in. Don't forget, if you got any questions about Frank, you can hit me up at Funday Draft on Blue Sky. You can also email me, fundaydraft@gmail.com, or type in the comments here on this YouTube video, and I'll be rifling through the comments and answering any questions as well. Wyatt, thanks again. Have a great night, and I am off to make some chicken stir fry.
You too, brother. Take care.